Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to the first lesson of Module 3, where you're going to learn how to promote your content using content amplification. Let's jump right in. So as you probably know, most people take the publish and pray approach to content marketing and SEO. They publish content that they hope goes viral. They hope people comment on it, and they hope people link to it. Well, as you've seen, the SEO That Works system is all about taking hope out of the equation. Instead of hoping that people like your content and influencers will enjoy reading it and want to share it, you created a power page. And it's the same with promotion. Instead of hoping that people link to it, you'll be able to take advantage of my proven battle-tested content promotion and link building strategies. And that's what this module is all about. So what is content amplification and why is it important? Well, the content promotion phase in the SEO That Works system has two distinct phases within it. So you have the eyeball phase and you have the link acquisition phase. Now with the eyeball phase, your goal is pretty much what it sounds like. You just want to get as many eyeballs as you can on your content. Obviously, your goal is to get link creator eyeballs, right? But at this stage, any eyeballs will do, even if they don't happen to be link creators. Now, you might get a backlink here and there from this phase of content promotion, but that's not really the number one goal. The number one goal here is to generate traffic, social shares, and buzz, and brand awareness, and all that stuff for your content and for your business. And if you happen to get some backlinks, that's great. But if not, you don't have to really worry about that, because the social proof you build up with content amplification and with the eyeball phase will make link building much easier when you get to do that later on. Now let's break down the 4 techniques that make up the SEO That Works content amplification process, as we always do, step by step. So the first strategy is the F to S method. And I should warn you that this particular strategy is designed to be used before you publish your power page. It only works before. But if you've already published your power page or multiple power pages, no worries, because the rest of the strategies are designed to be used after you publish. And you can always use this technique when you publish your next power page. So it's no big deal. But before I break this strategy down, let me show you a quick example of how not to promote your content in general. Here's an outreach email that I got a while back. Basically says, I'm emailing you because I just finished a post called X. You may have read it here. Any chance you can share it in your Twitter account. Now, what you can't see in this email is that the content that this person linked to was all about internet marketing for nonprofits. So what's wrong with this particular outreach email? Well, there's 2 issues that I want to point out, and these are issues that we'll easily avoid using the F to S method. First, the post isn't aligned with my interests. As I said, it was about nonprofits. I've never written about this topic. I've never actually worked with a nonprofit client before. And I have nothing against nonprofits, obviously. I would happily help nonprofits do better, but it's just not something that I'm especially interested in. It's not aligned with my interests. And second, he asked me to share his post from an ice cold email, and that's really too pushy coming from someone that I've never heard of and never had contact with before. So how does the F to S method work, and why is it different? Well, here's the deal. The link creators in your industry, especially bigger names, they love to get their egos stroked because they're used to being in the limelight. They're used to being people complimenting them. They actually need ego stroking even more than your average run-of-the-mill blogger. And one of the best ways to stroke their ego is to simply trust in their expertise and to let them know that they have a special expertise that not many people have. And as you saw with the bad outreach email that I just showed you, there was no ego stroking. It was just a straight pitch. So how is the F to S method different? Well, with this strategy, instead of just asking for a share or a link, you ask for quick feedback on your content first. Yes, you're still technically asking them for something, right? But instead of asking them to publicly endorse you, which is unlikely because they've never heard of you before, you're stroking their ego first. And this seemingly little difference makes a huge difference in the outcome. It makes them much more likely to share your content with their audience later on, and also to like you and build a relationship and all that good stuff. So that's the F and S of the F to S method. F stands for feedback and S is for share. So let's break this process down step by step. So the first step is you want to find link creators that are a good fit for your particular power page. Remember, when you align your content with the interest of your link creators, your results are much better than just writing stuff that they're mildly interested or not interested in at all. And that's true for content development, but it's also true for content promotion, which is where we're at now. I get daily pitches from people to check out their content, like the one I showed you. And in general, I'm more likely to check it out if the content is on a topic that I'm interested in. Even if the pitch doesn't happen to be great, if it's something I'm interested in, I'm more likely to check it out. So things like link building, SEO, building your email list, those are topics that I'm interested in, and I'm more likely to check them out. Topics that I'm only sort of interested in, like social media, mobile marketing, analytics, I'm less likely to check it out. And if that person gives me a hard pitch and sends me something I'm not interested in, they're much more likely to end up in my kind of banned folder of people that can't email me again. So what you want to do is take a look at the link creator list that you developed in Module 1 and find the 10 to 20 best people that would be a great fit for your Power Page. Now, if you're not able to find 10 or 20, it's no big deal. You can just Google keywords that describe your Power Page topic and see which link creators come up as you go through the top 20. So for example, let's say that your Power Page was about paleo diet desserts. You Google keywords like paleo diet desserts, etc. Now, in this example, the first result in this post is from greatest.com. And because the site is about all sorts of topics, I know that this author probably doesn't have a genuine interest in the paleo diet. They wouldn't be a good match. On the other hand, I found this post written by Joel, who loves talking and writing about the paleo diet, and he would be a great target for the F to S method. Now, once you've found people that would be interested in your upcoming piece of content, you want to warm them up. And you could try to cold outreach the people on your list, and that can definitely work, but you'll have more success if you warm them up just a little bit first. And here's a little warming up checklist that only takes a few minutes to execute. You want to follow them on social media, share a couple of their posts, leave a couple comments, and if you really want to butter them up, you can send them a personal compliment email on one of their latest posts and point out something in particular that you liked about it. So step number 3 is to get permission from them. And at this point, because you've warmed them up, you're on their radar screen. So now it's just time to reach out and let them know about your upcoming piece of content. Now, of course, I have the full script for you in the worksheet, but here's basically how it looks. It basically says you're publishing something about a topic they're interested in. You want to get their feedback. Would you mind if you send them the link? Now, notice the subtle but really important difference between this email and most pushy, needy emails. You ask them permission first. So you might be wondering, how can I show my content to them if it hasn't been published yet? What will I send them if they say, yes, show it to me? Well, the easiest way to set this up is just to publish your content as a page in WordPress. That way it doesn't show up in your feed, in your RSS feed, on the homepage blog feed, and just set it to no index so Google can't find it right away. Now, my friend who happens to run one of the biggest infographic agencies in the world, he's the one that really taught me a lot of this particular strategy, and he uses the F to S technique to get placements in major news outlets like Time, TechCrunch, and others. And he uses password-protected staging areas. So he publishes a page on his site that has an infographic, and he sends them a link to the page of the password. You can also do that, but I found the easiest way to do it is just to publish it as a page, not a post, and then set it to no index and just send it to people that you're going to use for the F to S method. So when they get back to you, just send them a script that says, here's a link to the post. I will have a link to your page. Now, once you've gotten their feedback and incorporated, it's time for step number 4, which is the live stage. And at this point, you've already done a lot of the heavy lifting. You've incorporated their feedback. Now it's just time to share the live content with all the people that helped you along the way. Now, I'll have the full script for you in the worksheet, but the quick overview is just, I want to give you a heads up that we're live. Thanks again for the feedback on whatever particular thing they helped you with. And what you may notice here, there's no pitch, and you don't need to pitch. You don't need to ask them to share it because they already feel invested in the content. They feel like they're part of it. And you're also using words like we and our post to emphasize that this was a partnership between you and them. So let's look at an example from Groove HQ. He was able to get people like Gary Vaynerchuk and Oli Gardner to share his post, even though the blog was completely brand new and no one ever heard of it. And he followed the F to S method. He got 1,000 email subscribers in 24 hours to a brand new blog using this strategy. Now this is kind of the results aren't typical sort of thing. He got amazing results. But the fact is that if you use this strategy, you will get influencers to share your content. You also build relationships with them. So let's move right along to the evangelist technique. So what is the evangelist technique and why does it work? Well, just like with the F to S method, which we just went over, you can use the strategy before you even publish your Power Page, but it also works great if your Power Page is already live. I use it in both instances. Now, before I break the process down, let's take a quick look at that crappy outreach email that we looked at before. Now, how is the evangelist technique more effective than that crappy outreach email? Well, it's different for two reasons. First, you're selecting laser targeted link creators and you're not being pushy. And because remember, the best targets for outreach are people that are interested in your Power Pages topic. But the question is, how do you find those people? Well, as you saw with the F to S method, Google search and the link creator list you already have can work great. But the evangelist technique adds a different twist to this step in the process. What we're going to do is we're going to target people that recently shared similar content on Twitter. Because the fact is, if someone shares something on social media, you better believe that they're interested in it or their audience is interested in it or both. And more important than that, they have a proven track record of sharing that content with their audience. So even if they're not interested in it, it doesn't really matter. The point is they've already shown that they like to share content around that topic. So once you find those people, it's just a matter of getting your content in front of them and the rest will take care of itself. So let's break down exactly how to do that step by step. So the first step is to find people that have shared similar content to your Power Page on social media, especially on Twitter. So I prefer Twitter because unlike Facebook and Google+, all tweets are public, so they're really easy to find. And to find these people, you can just go to Twitter and search for a keyword in your niche that describes your Power Page, and that'll show you people that shared content on that particular topic. BuzzSumo also works great. It works very similar. You just type in a keyword around your Power Page's topic, and you'll see what content around that topic has already been shared. But there's another little feature that a lot of people overlook with BuzzSumo, which is view shares. And what that does is it shows you everyone who shared that particular piece of content on Twitter. So what you want to do is export that list of shares, remove any irrelevant or spammy profiles, and then grab those people's emails. And I'll show you how to do that in the worksheet. Now, once you've found those people, it's just a matter of giving them a quick heads up. And remember, when someone shares a piece of content, you know a few things about them. You know they're interested in that topic, the audience is interested in that topic, and you know that they like to share content on that topic. But even though everything's kind of in your favor, we want to play it on the safe side, and you want to ask permission before sending them a link. And I have a full word for it email script that shows you how to do this. But here's in the worksheet. But here's an example. Basically said, I noticed that you tweeted a post. I have something coming out. You could also say, I just published something. It doesn't really matter. Want a heads up about the post. You want a link to the post. And when they get back to you saying, sure, you just send them a link. Very simple. And many people will be happy to share on social media and sometimes link to it from their blog because these are link creators for the most part, right? Now you can see in the second email, it says, I just dropped a comment and I'll also be sharing a snippet of it on my blog. Now, even if they don't say that, the point is that you're getting your content in front of people that'll share it. And this is still the eyeball face. Your goal isn't links. But because you're getting your content in front of so many link creators that are interested in it, you're very likely to get links down the road because when they're going to write a piece of content and they think, oh, I think I read something about this particular part recently, they're more likely to link to you because you'll be top of mind. So let's move on to strategy number 3, which in my opinion is one of the most underrated marketing strategies online. And I love forums. I love forum marketing because one of the few places online that's like a watering hole of where your target audience hangs out. Now, the one downside of forum marketing is that in general, most people that are on forums aren't link creators. That being said, some are link creators. And besides, remember, the goal here is getting eyeballs on your content. And non-link creator folks make up a large chunk of these eyeballs. And they also become potential commenters, shares, and even leads and customers. So step number 1 is to find good forums. And believe me, there are forums on every topic under the sun. And a lot of them have thousands, literally, of active users. And that's true in internet marketing, in the low-carb diet world, in personal finance, you name it, there's a forum. Now, I'll give you exact search strings you can use to find forums in the worksheet, but I've also actually found that this simple search string, forum plus keyword or keyword plus forum, works best. For example, if your Power Page is about saving money, you literally just Google saving money forum, personal finance forum. Simple, but effective, because that'll show you very active forums. So step number 2 is to add value as a member, because like any online community, forums are very sensitive about self-promotion. In fact, I found that forum communities tend to go more torch and pitchfork on any stranger that tries to be pushy and promote their stuff than even other online communities. But that doesn't mean that they're 100% anti-self-promotion. Once you establish yourself as a member of the community, you're good to go. From then on, you can share your content as long as it's valuable and targeted, and they'll actually welcome it with open arms. So here's a simple checklist that you can use to become a valuable member of the community very quickly. So you want to create an account, post 20 high quality posts, and then 10 quickie posts. Let's break these down. So first, you want to create an account and just make sure that you don't have a signature link back to anywhere. So if the forum allows them a signature link, don't put one. If they don't allow one, you don't have to worry about that, obviously, but you don't want to have one either way. And that'll have you fly under the radar at first. Then what you want to do is post 20 high quality posts. These can be threads that you start yourself or just responses to people's questions. And when I say high quality, it doesn't have to be War and Peace, right? It doesn't have to be a huge, lengthy reply. Just focus on helping other people in the forum. So for example, this is me on the Warrior Forum. It's just me responding to something about the keyword tag. You can see it's very brief, but it provides my take and my value. Now, you can also post 10 quickie posts, and I recommend doing that just to pad your post count a little bit. And it should still provide value, but these posts will be on the short and sweet side. So then it's step number 3, which is time to share. And remember, don't be skittish here. People on forums are actively looking for great new content to read. That's why they go there in the first place. So as long as you add value and you're a respected member of the community, your content will be accepted with open arms. So here's exactly how to share your Power Page content on a forum. So you want to start a new thread, and that thread title will be the title of your Power Page. So if your Power Page is 50 low-carb desserts, your thread title will be the exact same thing. Next, you want to start the thread off with a link to your Power Page. Just want to introduce and say, hey, I just published this at link to my site. I thought you guys might want to check it out. Now, then you want to republish your Power Page as the thread. You can literally copy and paste it. You can take out some images, maybe add some stuff. I like to put kind of a shorter version in the thread than I have on my site. That gives people an incentive to check it out, but you don't have to do that. But what you do need to do is make sure that Google has indexed your page first. So once you published your Power Page, make sure it's indexed by pasting the URL into Google. And if it shows up on your site, you can go ahead and republish it on the forum. The reason this is important is you don't want to just instantly go to the forum and publish it there, because Google might think the forum is the original author. So it gets you in duplicate content issues. So finally, you want to hang out on the forum and answer questions and receive praise, which you will get. I've tried this across several different forums, and people absolutely love it. So let's look at an example, 17 untapped backlink sources. This was one of the first posts that I ever published at Backlinko, and it had literally zero traffic, zero following. And when I republished this post, it got me 131 visitors in 2 weeks, which may not be like mind-blowing or anything compared to some of the other stuff, but still, for a brand new site in a competitive space, this is pretty good, especially when you combine it with the other promotional strategies from this particular lesson and also the lessons later in this module. And it also got me some links, some comments, some shares, just some early traction and buzz for this post that I wouldn't have gotten if I skipped forum marketing. And to date, this thread has nearly 8,000 views. So moving right along here to strategy number 4, the content roadshow. What is it? How does it work? Well, back in the early days of the movie industry, studios had a big problem. How can we get nationwide attention about our big budget movies? Well, back in the 20s and 30s, TV wasn't big, and even having radio was kind of a luxury. So how did these studios get the word out? Well, what they did was they took their movies on a national roadshow. They'd show their movies in big cities like Chicago, New York, and LA, and then word of mouth would spread. So then when they released their movie in the smaller theaters, people had already heard about it from the people in the bigger cities. And you could do the exact same thing with your content. Just take it on a little roadshow and spread the word. So here's the exact step-by-step process. First, you want to find people that are interested in your topic. And the easiest way to do that, of course, is a quick Google search. For example, if your Power Page is about gardening, you Google things like gardening tips, gardening guide, etc. Now, this is similar to how you may have found targets using the F to S method. But unlike that strategy, you don't need to be as picky, because you're not looking for people to get feedback on your post. You're just showing it to them. So as long as it shows some interest in your topic, you're good to go. So for example, 17 untapped backlink sources. I took this piece of content on a content roadshow, and it's one of the reasons it was so successful. I just Googled keywords like backlinks, link building, grabbed anyone that seemed like they might be interested in that topic, and added them to my list. So step number 2 is to send them a permission email. Again, just like with every strategy, this is a non-pushy email just to see if they're interested in. And the other benefit of any sort of permission email that I didn't mention is that it starts the process off with a tiny micro commitment. So their tiny micro commitment is just saying, yes, I'd like to see it. It's unlike asking them to share on social media in the first email, which is very off-putting. Now, I'll have the full script for you, but the sneak preview is basically, I was looking for some information on a topic and it came across your post. And then you say, you publish something similar, let me know if you want to check it out. And then that micro commitment is when they say yes, and then you send it to them and say, here it is. Nothing too complicated here. Now, this is very similar to the evangelist technique, right? So you're reaching out to people that might be interested in your topic and just showing it to them. But the big difference is with the content roadshow, you're targeting anyone that might have an interest, even if they haven't shared something similar on social media. So evangelist technique is great because you're finding people that shared. With the content roadshow, these are people that have covered your topic. So they may not have it, they may not have proven that they share it, but they at least show an interest, which means they're very likely to share content on social media. So that's all there is to the content amplification process. So download the worksheets below this video, and I'll see you in the next lesson.